Yo, 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 what's up, CIA, FBI? Fucking in the hizzy over here like it's fucking mid in early 2000s with white guys trying to say that. Just saying. Fun stuff, anyways. Gonna move on, I suppose. To guess the fuck what? It's not coming back, I'll tell you that much. We hated it then, and we hate it now. We're gonna talk about creative composites. So, I was talking about this a little earlier because of a Lego video that came up on my feed, and it's like, I want diamond-like carbon on my Lego exteriors, because you can do it during the extrusion process. I know of somebody that's already doing it for axles, of all things. Diamond-like carbon, if you don't know, is a thing that they use for IEMs for their diaphragm. They usually come in really small amounts, which is why they're typically not too expensive. But when you do it during the extrusion amount, like aluminum, in an amount that is small, while it's hot, it's effectively placed and impregnated with inside of the exterior of the aluminum. As it extrudes through, it also forms layers that bind to itself and creates a polycrystalline-like formation, ceramic-ish coating. Sort of like what they do with glass composites with 3D printing as they extrude out of the nozzle for glass dust. Or diamonds, for that matter, if it's diamond dust. The reason why I was talking about it is because I saw recently, back in like the mid 2015s here, I'm going to create this breakdownable, meaning decomposing, biodecomposing plastic that, when strung together with a bunch of strings and woven with your perpendiculars and layers with some diamond-like composites, meaning diamond-like carbon, not composites, interrupter, as you try and catch up and interrupt. Where have I heard this before? Oh yeah, no, I stated it as something you could do back in my parents' Chandler house out loud, and I didn't record it then, but others were listening. What's up, CIA? How you been? Hi, Corpos! Cookies! How you been? Yo, what's up? Easily hacked fucking goddamn routers and computers and phones? Still, even till this day? I'm just laughing at people because it's like, they think that that's psychosis somehow. But yet, it's still funny because even though it is very reasonable to assume that that's a thing, they think they're right in assuming it's not logical and rational. And it's a leap of logic and ration. But they make the joke consistently. Anyways, so we weave it, we place in the material in between, above, and below. You compress it under heat, like heat molding, right? Except, no, we're going to add a little bit of extra special sauce. This is diamond-like carbon, and guess what it is? Electrically conductive. So when you heat it up and you shock it the right way, and shockingly add the right shockity shock, that's right, I said shock interrupter, use an electromagnetic field, you ultimately create an alignment of its given polycrystalline-like formations that bind better when you run the electricity through it. Like a field effect transistor. And you're compressing them. It also happens to like adding itself as a bunch of little tiny ionic to then covalent bonds. The reason why they were doing it is looking into creating the correct type of flexible diaphragmic cylinder for storage of gases that could easily have the heat taken away as an acoustic pump. Like I talked about with my air tanks and gas tanks for my airships and rocket ship ideas on my YouTube channel. Not to mention making a lighter, better engine. Piston engines. And flexible compressors, because they can become more efficient at sucking in air and compressing it. As they spin up and work better at the proper RPMs instead of being a statically fixed way of doing it, they now have the ability to act like they had it change in their pitch. So that way they become more efficient at sucking shit in at higher speeds and lower speeds. Capricia, Compunde, Crystal Clearo. Fucking stupid sombreros. You know what I mean? They got hats everywhere. You wouldn't get it. It's the rainbow hat community over here. The hackers. Oh, no, they don't exist. No. Not even a thing, do they? What's up, CIA? How's it going, FBI? Still spying on me, like we talked about? What about you, CSA, Computer Security Agency? How about that, DOD? How about that, fucking NSA? And the hizzy again. National Security Concerns. This person. Patriot Act! Patriot Act! Just fucking anyone. As if they needed an excuse before. You know what I mean? Patriot Act! Patriot Act! Caw! Screech! God damn, it's literally the fucking picture with the bird just glaring at the other one. Shut up! Okay? Shut the fuck up! Fucking preachy screech dude. I could use the Patriot Act to go after you. Fucking dick. Talking about abuse of the very power that we're given. Yeah, that was a great one. Super. I'm gonna let the abusive terrorist in our midst of the agency take control and power and authority. I'm sorry, we're here. I don't like you that isn't willing to do the same thing. Be willing to harm and abuse others. That's the only way you'll get up top. This is crap. What's up, farm? How you been? New crop? Shut the guy up. Suck it! Come on, you laughed. I didn't fuck you. Anyways, we're gonna move on from that because it's like, well, that's cool composite. Oh yeah, no, but that's nothing. They started it off as a PCB board thing. That way they could run electrical contact lines with the right doping material. And they could use less plastics. Well, then they were like, no, maybe I could put in the right plastics. I mean, you're willing to make a diaphragm. If I dope it the right way, now I have tracing lines, and now I definitely still have insulated material, and then I have, like, layers of this stuff, right? They were like, then they went with what I told them to do back in, Chandler, which was, hey, use fucking glass, dummy. And then just increase electricity with the fiber optic lines for the doping to allow for the one-way mirror. My ass one-way mirror. They'll allow for fiber optics and whatnot. To then just add the electricity the right place. Instead of using a bunch of solder and fucking goddamn copper and all the rest, why don't I do it the right way? This is cheaper in all aspects and I use less electricity outright. Oh, I'm going to be like a Simon Whistler who says that... What? Meanwhile, so they're already trying to make glass ones? And this is a... Oh, and so they're going to try and use the silicon, like the version of the flash memory, for the hard drive, the old hard drives, For the light-based transistors. We'll have a bunch of light-based transistors. Huge parallel processing. Very fast. Very, very good. But now it's silicon for these very specific, complex P-lines, power lines. Ooh. Yeah. As if it's not basically the same design it came up with back in 2015. There's no way those corporations could ever have people in a very incestuous-like community that just takes one from another company and, the CIA, we don't know anything about Bob Ross getting fucked over by the CIA. And then them just taking his image and being allowed to run with it. Nothing he could do until he eventually died of cancer. Okay, well, No. It's just conspiracy. He sounds like a nut job. This is what they... Okay, you fuck off over here. Go away. No way would they eventually catch on. This guy seemingly very smart, intelligent, and keep looking and listening at him. See what I'm saying? No, it's psychosis. No logic or reason ever. Oh, is that what you wanna do over there? What is this? Kyle Hill, Engineering Explained. Who's the other guy? Electro Boom. Who gives a fuck? As if they would ever. We're too big and important. You have a parasocial relationship with us. Whatever. I don't know you. I don't care about you. Just referencing it because it's fucking hilarious. They would probably do that. I'm a skeptic like Simon. I couldn't possibly be creative enough to see how ultimately this could be a thing going on, even though I'm clearly well aware of all those things being a thing, and I just ignore them the moment it's like a person like me, or... I mean, you have to be in politics, or you have to be a CEO, or you have to be something to the public. I mean, that's the only way. They wouldn't do it such in a way that that person would never become big enough for them to be easily discovered, having that occur to them, so that way it's easier for them to hide it. No, okay. Hi, Scott Manley-like person. With your accent. Okay, so... Shut up. Over there, interrupter. Jeez. Let's walk you down a path of self-discovery, mind-thought experiments here. Why are you this stupid is what it's going to be called. The thought experiment. I cognitively dissonate in all ways, all possibilities, and refuse to acknowledge anything outside of my current scope and breadth of understanding. And I must in every way have complete totality of proof. To find pure logic and reasoning things that are easily seen and understood as being a thing that occurs and happens. Like, okay, this ball, you must prove that it will drop to the ground. Bitch, no I don't. Fuck you, these maths for gravity work, you little bitch. You must prove... I fucking dropped the ball then! Fuck you! Fuck you! I need that experiment. I need to run it billions and trillions of times for magnitudes of assurance. Pretty sure it's happened already. The probability assurance says it's very unlikely to be other things. I'm assuring you, for sure. I'm very sure. I don't know if that's how that works. Are you sure? Prove to me it's not. No! Go away! Shut up over there. It works. It's fucking not logical to assume and intuit these things. I don't know, man. I feel like you just need to get better at doing that. Why are you so piss poor? How come you can't just get good? These composites, they already made them. I'm just mentioning things that have already been done. I'm not aware of that, though. Oh, okay. So you can't do any work and I have to do all the work for you to be able to have you view it as proven. Even though you're like, I know that would work. And we're going to be all like, so I have to listen to the non-believer. They're smart. Quotation marks hard on that one. Phaser, no. You know better. Don't do that. Don't get up in my face and don't fucking keep biting me. That is not okay and you know that. He needs another dog to bark and bite and nip at him. Eventually tell him when he tries to play that goes too far. Doesn't really seem to learn otherwise. I'm too human, you know, the master thing. Yeah. Anyways. Where was I? Right. The believer is not you ever. You must prove all the things to me. Pure logic and completely understandable that works and all the rest of it. I need you to prove to me. Okay. This is how they got you. Look at this obvious thing that's obvious as a fucking goddamn study in psychology and all the rest. And then they're like, we needed this for something? All right. I guess you can't say it's not a thing. They were always going to do that anyways. Who are you doing that for? You're just confirming something that's obviously a thing. Yeah. It's a waste of money after a while. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, no, this is a runaround goose chase. Dude, like, for real. Don't you see it? No, you're getting money. You're going to be big. You're going to be powerful. You'll have a study that comes out that's very important and impressive. People will think you're incredibly talented and smart and intelligent. Uh-huh. And they won't be able to argue with you anymore as to this being a thing. Right. That's so necessary. We have to argue with them? Why don't we just do the thing and see? Why do I have to argue? Why don't we just go over there and do it? Or why don't we just go experiment? What the fuck is this? What do I need this for? Why do I need to prove anything to you? I'm not having a debate. If it works, it works. It doesn't, it doesn't. What's the fucking problem? I'm fully fine with just fucking, like, getting money and trying to make this happen. I'd love to fucking prove some of this shit to you. I don't have money. What are you doing? I ask of you this impossible task. Literally impossible. By the way, I love this one. Dr. Ben Miles put out a whole video. You don't really have free will and science proves it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fully well aware of that one. You have a given personality choice and DNA hard code that dynamically changes based upon the stimulation of your environment. Nurture-nature combo. More neurally network weights given decisions based upon how it is information from your environment and your internal self identity ultimately is. And then there's the quote-unquote subconscious, which is really just feelings of the autonomic nervous system. I need food, I need water, I need this pleasure sense response, blah blah, for ultimately your personality to be satiated. That's all you are, you animal. Like you're not. I am this special type. I have become no longer a part of the biology. How does that work? How the fuck does that work? Tell me how that works. So godly. Don't turn into something else, I guess. Fucking dick. I am not an animal. I resent the very idea that I am the same and a biological creature that is for sure organic. Okay, I admit that there are humans that are animals. Okay, there are humans that are animals? I'm guessing you're not one of them, huh? Fuck yourself. Oh, go fuck myself? Now we need to do ultra stupidly large distinctions. I love this psychological one. Saw this on Reddit, in Science Alert or Science News on Reddit. About there's, this introverted. It's like, oh yeah, no. The extroverted dick that's willing to get a bunch of people to follow them and do something then has to have this introverted individual that needs to be more able to distinctively tell whether or not this person is going to be angry, do this, have them get this done, know and understand these body language signals and more for the categorization, and once you get more intelligent too, it's like, look, of course I'm going to be anxious, of course I'm going to be less emotionally stable, and of course I'm going to be well aware and stressed out and all the rest of it. That come from, I know that you're going to make them do that. I know that I'm going to have to do this. I know I don't want to do it. I know that I'm going to have to fucking deal with that. I know that you're going to talk to me like this. I know that it's like you do view me like that because I'm not stupid and not paying attention to it because, of course, I have time to be able to pay attention to it. And I'm really good at picking up on those signals. Like, obvious fucking shit. But then it's like, okay, yeah, no, but wait. Your classification as evolving Homo sapien, blah, blah, blahs, effectively makes that a thing that you evolved with. Of course you had the leader, extrovert, oh, I'm not like this, like them, right? But it's like, is it that they're the leader, extrovert? Most of the time, no. Really? No, they're just douche fucks that you have to worry about as the leader. Like when they're talking about these emotionally unstable, blah, blah. But they're not, actually. They're the more emotionally stable ones. They're properly feeling about some douche fuck that's going to ruin the entirety of the group and tribe. Get them all killed. head off towards something that's going to kill them all or make them do something stupid to prove to them that they're wrong again. Which wastes time and valuable resources and energy, and I don't want to have to fucking deal with them. They're the actual leaders, you see what I'm saying? But it's like, look at the fucking scientists having to get carried along by the politicians and the other idiots around them. I have to do this big impressive study, and I have to state it with these garbage words that are obviously fucking, like, leading and narratively driven. Emotionally unstable. Man, look at this criteria. Oh, I've rated myself. I'm more emotionally unstable because I happen to have this, and I think and pick it apart more often because I've been traumatized and abused in my life, and I think about it so much because I don't want to be that way. Versus, I'm an extrovert, I don't even care, I don't even think about it, or I'm more narcissistic, and so on, so I don't care. How is this criteria really actually relevant? How is it done? Is it really, truly good criteria? Obviously not replicatable. But, what do you know the results say? That I'm right, and effectively logic and obvious is obvious, and reason is still reasonable. And this clearly makes it so it's very not likely to be able to be argued, like what I stated back in 2015 to a bunch of garbage dumbasses in the past that were hacking me. What's up, CIA corpos and other hackers? But no, there's no chain. There's no degrees of separation. That eventually leads to something like that. There's no logic here. Okay. So, my cognitive dissonance thought experiment here. Still going on. Why am I so stupid? You are. You should ask yourself that question. Have you really given yourself the proper ability to see beyond your narrow-minded little box you're in, skeptic? You view yourself as intelligent, but you're not. Being a skeptic is all well and good, because there is logic and reason, except when you don't become someone that's actually that intelligent or creative at being able to come up with a solution as to a possibility that's just as reasonable as it not happening. Especially when you don't have the given information, you don't have the given perspective, and you certainly don't have any of the rest of it. Your initial assumptions were, of course, wrong to begin with. Started off in a incorrect direction. As a baseless foundation that you started with. Instead of the thought experiment, let's go with, what if it was the case that this was going on? What if he did have those things? And then you get to this point, after having all of those orders of magnitude of usernames, meteorological, geological, people, verbatim videos, conversations. I mean, it just goes on and on for years and years and years, every damn day, even this. When do you think you'd switch? As statistically speaking, it's totally improbable to have that many coincidences. Back to back, for years on end. Stated as previously in my YouTube videos too, but you probably never looked at that if you're like a Simon Whistler and you barely even bother. This is a skeptic, and I don't have that information, and if he was saying that, of course he'd say that as a basic con, and I'd have to do work. I don't want to do that work. I'm not going to do that work. I'd have to actually find that stuff and... So, He's clearly super intelligent, you acknowledge that. These things, but I'm definitely being a cognitive dissonant person on, I acknowledge do exist and have happened and are a thing for sure. But for this, it's no. And then I also know about his other very reasonable, logical possibilities that make this very likely that they might do some of this. So I'll go with no, in no way any of it's possible, and I'll be just stupid, I guess, as a skeptic somehow. I'm a skeptic. Oh, fuck. I have to go get that information and study any of this other stuff that he's got going on. Like, he just remembers this. I have to actually look at all of that, and I'd have to actually do a lot of work to deep dive into this fucking shit. Cry harder. I'm not even going to be believed. I'm labeled. The person I am, who's labeled the thing I'm labeled as, has to convince you, supposedly normal, good, smarter, better than me, clearly is less likely to have these issues that make it so that way I am confused in no way, like this person obviously is, about these things that he claims. What's up, CIA, FBI? How you been, buddies? Hey, Corpos, still listening like normal, eh? What's up, hackers? Same time today again? It's a little time joke. Let's say I could look using casual set theories. You know, using the field things that I say my brain could do. Right. And then we ended up getting decent programming and computers involved that good at predictive analysis and using those little time machine things that I've talked about, which are effectively just lasers suspending something in a given way that makes it so that way information from the future effectively should be able to affect that when up to the point it is made. They can't send things forward, it just is an information type of thing. But you might remember that, you might not. It made a big scene back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, after they had made it, but they hadn't gotten any information. I'm like, well, maybe there's enough of them finally. And they did it better, where actual information will go through. But point is, let's say there was a way for me to extend that conscious awareness into that. Or let's say they finally managed to start having that be a thing that affects them. You know, as in they actually got information back. There's no way. It's never a thing. No possibility. No way. They can never be a thing. I've never heard about this thing. It's no thing. It's not a... So let's say there's a casual set theory. Panpsychism is now here. Oh, it's psychism, huh? So let's say I filled in the gaps for the details for the given predictive analysis of chaos theory mathematics of what it is that ultimately people were believing I saw and were waiting to see if it happened. And that it did constantly. What if they use that to take advantage of me? Would that make it now special enough to keep me hidden and locked away so that way nobody believes me and I never get anywhere and a bunch of skeptics are all on the side of a type of Simon Whistler-like individual? that needs, you need to show us the proof. I couldn't possibly do any of the work that literally makes all of this possible. Why are you stupid? I don't know. Probably because you don't remember as much as me and you don't focus on it all damn day. And you have a life with kids or significant other. And of course I'm getting forced to not have that. And be locked away like a Newton or Galileo or I forget what his name was actually. But you know, good old Christianity, right? The government. What's up, racists? Oh, I'm sorry, I meant the CIA, NSA, FBI, CSA, DOD. You know, Trump really put a lot of racists in there. Yeah, it's not like you were very different from before. You must do a bad thing like us. The gang initiation has been started. Take advantage of others and abuse your power. That's the only way you're gonna get up to here at the top. I hate you. You'll be like us. We can guilt trip you. Remember when you did that terrible thing? No, that's not possible to do that. No. So, my thought experiment. Why are you so stupid? Do you see it? Look at me just looking at the mental gymnastics these people get to go through to try and just simply ignore what's clearly a logical, factual, reasonable thing without information they have. Then when I give them a bare minimum, and if they were to have the other information from the past, they would look very foolish, I'm quite certain. It's illegal to get that information, isn't it? Last time I checked, you store information constantly as the corpus. Oh yes, no, the illegal people care tremendously, the hackers. Well. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant the government, you know. No, we can't give you that. That's classified, top secret. Or allowed to do it, though, because it's national security, patriot stuff. So we bring ourselves back to the beginning here, once more, of the intro. You thought it was a joke, and yet, what's up, CIA hackers and FBI and all the rest of those corpos? You know, there was a lovely hacker that just forcefully updated a lot of firmware to a lot of routers because they were vulnerable to such a degree they couldn't even begin to imagine. Talk about philanthropy. I'll just be able to roll out an update. Like the ISPs can't do that. I wonder if there's a reason the ISPs just don't do that. You know, like for government or corporations or other hackers to take advantage of that given situation. There's no way they would possibly, with me ever. For what reason? You know, last time I checked, some people just fucking look in. They don't even have a reason. There needs to be one! None is still a reason. Just stuck around. I seemed to like to listen to the guy. Grew from there, right? Oh, that's not a plausible, reasonable explanation. All the people I just mentioned have lots of followers on YouTube for that exact reason. Where's this cognitive dissonance pill? Jesus fuck! Are you able to stop taking those pills, cognitive dissonance, bitch? Maybe you should change your meds. You need a med change. No more cognitive dissonance pills over there. Why are you stupid? Thought experiment, you know? So, composites. Alright, let's talk about composites. We're going to talk about composites here. So, did you know that glass impregnated with diamond-like carbon and squeezed and extruded out? Extruded, not excluded. Interrupter. Creates a very conductive material that's insulative depending on how much distance you allow for the core and the outside. It also happens to use the glass, depending on how you dope it, as a capacitor that dumps once it gets up to the right amount of storage of electromagnetic field potential. As it sine waves through in an alternating current, it'll DC current the sine wave of the alternating current forward, creating a resonance, a double AC, if you will, that increases voltage and captures about 10% of energy loss. There's still a little bit of heat, sure, but it's just like my resonance frequency sine wave, quotation marks, superconductor. It uses the very resistance to make it more able to have more electricity go through it. I've added a few people about that, truthfully, already on YouTube. Current. Oh, yes, amps, currents, volts. Meanwhile, electrons go orders of magnitude up that they push through this cable battery thing that is storing them. Technicality here wise. As they get burnt off towards wherever it is that they get converted into various material change for having more electrons added in. Or field malarkey business. Yeah. Stupid. You don't see it as a battery sometimes? No, well, okay, yeah. Why am I so stupid? I don't know. Idiot. Why be a skeptic? Why immediately have to challenge things to feel better about yourself? Why is your personality defect like that? Why, when I am a confident person that says these things, you must go after it? Do you self-depreciate yourself often towards others so that way they'll like you more too? It's a common occurrence for people such as yourself to do that. Yeah, standard shit, right? Pretty much. They never really seem to see it too. I noticed that back in the day a long time ago. It seemed to work for them a little bit. Figured I'd try it out. I don't really like it a lot. I don't do it. It's not my thing. It took a long time to get out of that habit too. Anyways, so it's like, alright, well, yeah, you have to dope them. You have to dope them. I can't possibly dope just extruded fucking glass. Get out of here. Right? No way, we've never fuck off. Really? Are you that stupid? I have to dope them, though. Fuck you. We do that with copper cables! Ah! I hate you. You stupid fucking bitch. Who put this person around here as if they make sense? Like, no, we have to do this thing and change stuff. Ah, that's what you fight in the industry, though. Yeah, persons with the money resources, and you have to be the, come on, guys. Come on. This is a good thing to change it to. Come on. If it was my way and had enough money, I'd just do it. They'll ruin my entire business if I even try. You know they got enough of a fucking goddamn monopoly of a given area, and they'll just fucking ruin me. They band together like the oligarchy monopoly things they are. We talk, and they're just like, this guy wronged me, and he's trying to get in here. Does it produce light? No. I mean, it technically could if you did it right. It's kind of like an incandescent, but then that's just a bunch of little arcs, if you don't know. It's like arc lights, but then it's like they're in a vacuum. And then if you have the right given like little mirrors and reflectivity and lensing properties, what you get is a big old arc light that's very efficient comparative to light emitting diodes. Makes a lot more because that light can then be destructively interfered to make a constructive interference for the given light as a flat line from your darkest red to your brightest blue. So you need a lot less energy because there's IR there that can be used to ultimately interfere with itself to create the given natural light you're looking for. Now, you can always have a degree of IR because it's always going to be a degree, and it's the same thing with ultraviolet, but usually you don't want to use that because just like we don't usually want to stand underneath the sun all fucking damn day long, you'd probably want to change that too with your indoor lights. But the best part is they are able to be used as micro arc lights effectively. We can totally make them with, what do you know, there's this stuff called diamond-like carbon. And shiny ass stuff, like, I don't know, anything that's shiny, I guess. And they have this ultra white ceramic. I love this. You know what this I saw this on Science News. It's like this ultra white ceramic that happens to be, it was literally yesterday I was looking at it. Much more reflective to all light than any other ceramic we've ever had. And it's like, yeah, okay, so if I do that with the right material that reflects only given certain wavelengths with the mirror, like a 3M mirror there, you know what I mean, those little tiny thin sheets, but then it's like, right, but if we do that with the right crystalline structures, these are tiny little plastics to actual little tiny gems that we can grow, which aren't really gems, like, you know, rare and valuable. These are just like, they're transparent enough and so on. It effectively means, well, the light will go through, it will then interfere appropriately to change IR and ultraviolet into the very definition of all the light that we want to see. Good old filter, right? They're filters, there's lights, the cohering thing, there's amplification of other light waves, frequencies. Normally it might not be there because it changed IR and ultraviolet into that given frequency of wavelength of light. So you call it an amplificatory, but then you call it a deconstructive, and then you call it constructive, and so on. So it's a whole bunch of refractometry, and diffraction, and coherenting, and lensing, and interference models to create the correct interference profiles. Now, granted, these are all micro things, but you know what the best part is? You just layer them. It's like, here's a flat sheet, here's a flat sheet, here's a flat sheet, here's a flat sheet, and then it's like, oh, what do you know? It's done. Just gotta do it in a vacuum. I can't produce vacuums! You don't understand. There's no way for me to produce vacuums! I can't possibly do that. There's no way. I'm a skeptic like Simon. got Chadley Styro here. Fucking let's do it then. Let's go. I'm a believer. I know about light and material design. Let's do this. That makes total logical sense. Why wouldn't I do this? Why couldn't we do that? What is this? Fuck you. Meanwhile, I'm sure Simon's a fine person. It's just some dick that's actually listening. I likes to think of himself like Simon. He's a fucking retard, though. He's so stupid. He's like, you need to prove everything all the time. I'm like, that's literally impossible. You're not even doing that. Prove to me you exist, dick. No, I refuse to. It's the worst. No, it's just dissociative identity imprinted with the social, parasocial relationship for a given, massive amount of trauma and lack of actual socialization, and so therefore he is creating a personality basis for a given individual in which he's talking to. Sound familiar to someone listening in? Because I know about this psychology, and it could fit, guys. It could fit. Come on, nudge, nudge, wink. Come on, it could fit. We could gaslight him with that. Why don't we do the experiments that I have outlined to see if that's actually a thing? Hey, come on over here. Show that you are there, that you think this. Come on. Let's do it. No, God, fuck you. Fuck me. Fuck you, Gabagoo. We should gaslight him. I heard you say that. What the fuck? As if you don't know. So what if we knew and we never came? And so you're dead? Oh, okay, moving on. So anyways, the composites here. Arc light, little tiny diode, but it's not really a diode. It can't be called a diode. Yeah, but, I can make them down into a nanoscale, but it's like, well, this is the best part because of the given plates. I can make it sub-nanoscale for the given arc light and then change dynamically, depending on how it is that I want light to ultimately bounce and reflect, refract, and more to create a screen that's insanely power efficient. I don't need a backlight. I can have polarization. I can have interference in real-time sub-nanosecond responses that make light-emitting OLEDs, look piss poor in color reproduction and speed and sub-pixel response times. Without the glare, but it'll look like I got the glare. You know what I mean? It's like, actually, if you have the screen that isn't this weird diffuse matte satin, they're right, it does look better. It is genuinely a better fucking screen, I have to admit. But, I don't need it anymore because, truthfully, the light combines past the screen. It interferes with itself. Which means it's not about the screen anymore. In a vacuum or in an atmosphere, it'll still do it. It's properly diffused, and it has all the color reproduction you'll ever want with all the blacks you could ever get. Because you could literally interfere with that light to the point where it's literally no longer there as light you could see, or, even better, light at all in some instances. Depending on how quickly you can try and diffuse it into other things. Light has to go somewhere. Yeah, it depends on what you talk about on that one. Don't get into the electrochromodynamics with those guys. Yeah. A photon was converted into... That's a lot of field theory. Okay. So which field is it going to be this time? I don't know! It's really hard to measure these things. Okay. Uh-huh. Anyways, meanwhile, me, the Chadley Xenon here. Brrr goes the fucking air around me. Light pump it up. Give me the sound I desire. Whew, baby, that's some good sound reproduction everywhere I am. Oh, yeah, baby mama. Love that shit. Yeah, truthfully. Because it's true, you could totally do that. It's just arc lights, so little miniature ones in a vacuum, for what it's worth. I know, but then there's like the problem, elephant in the room. You have to learn about light at a very small scale. We're talking sub-nanometers. It's kind of rough, and then you have to, layer it. Yeah, and you have to refract it. You have to diffract it, which refract is reflect, but then it's diffusing. Well, it doesn't. Diffract is curve, but also diffuse. See, deflection and then refract. Diffuse. Anyways. I just brute forced the words. At least they actually knew how to fucking write words properly. They're not like other fucking weirdos. I will write a word that's not in any way sounding like it's fucking spelled. What is this crap? It's also stupidly long. What is this bullshit? Who came up with words like this? You suck. You're the worst sometimes. Anyways, I'm gonna move on. I was like, alright, so we got that. Yes! With a more efficient cable now that's super cheap to produce. Great! That means I can now make it a ginormous strip of cable in these arc lights that don't produce any heat, which is nice. So that's good. Yeah. Right. Well, that's fucking stupid to me. No, light does produce a little bit of heat, but it's not much. Way less than most of the other ones. For what it's worth, like a light-emitting diode's main issue is the amount of energy it loses to IR. This would just automatically convert it. It'd store it like the little glow-in-the-dark rocks. It's like, well, IR is basically going to be involved in that, and then it's going to have to refract and deflect, and then ultimately deconstructively to constructively interfere with other light going through it to produce a faster given wavelength. But during that, of course, it's draining energy while it does this. You lose a given amount, but since there's enough IR, it doesn't really matter. And when you have other light around to act as seed photons, and then wavelengths, whatever, then you have higher degrees of light, and you want to flatline it. So it's like, well, there's too much blue here, or ultraviolet. Then it makes it a lot easier to do that. You really are ahead of a lot of people, you know that, right? Yeah, whatever. I don't really think that way, but whatever. Interrupter, you should really think of yourself as more intelligent than you are. Yeah, or not. Let's do that. Why not go fuck off? I'm going to get into your head. Be egotistical, be a narcissist like the others. Nah, I'm good, bro. Come on! Think of yourself as better than others so I feel better about myself! Nah. I'm good, man. Good. Anyways, I'm gonna move on to... So it does this, but why would you do it? Lights, screen, more efficient, helps out the world, cheap as fuck to produce. If you want to do it differently, all of a sudden you have a stronger electromagnetic current that you can just run water through that won't become electrically conductive to the water, which is nice. so you can cool it. Yeah, sure can. Rankin cycles in the hizzy again. Or you could just not do that. No, I could just not do that. Okay, I won't. Why am I so stupid? I don't know. The thought experiment ended a while ago. So, I guess it's just an inferiority complex at this point, making you feel that way. I'm going to move on to. Alright, so that's a basic composite. And it's been not done before? No, it hasn't been done before, for what it's worth. Which is nice. So it means I can make it. But all of it logically makes total sense. Could be done very soon, actually. I wonder if somebody will suddenly make something like that will pretend in some small way, somehow, that they just had a similar idea. Again and 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 again. I'm going to do this for a while. I'm just pausing right here because I know you're probably going to skip. And again, 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 and again. You're still saying it. You fucking bitch. I got him. You skipped. I knew one of them would try. And again, and again, and again, and again, and again. Why are you still? And again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. I literally, if you had that fucking shit from back in my parents' Chandler house, where I used to live, all that information, you'd know that it's just like, oh, so all of that is, oh, what do you know? That's mine, 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 mine. Okay. Alright. I'm looking at it constantly on YouTube too. That one's mine. Okay. It's all stuff I thought I could do too. Great mind thinks alike. Well, they have direct contacts to various people that listened in or were a part of various colleges that certainly don't have any CIA possibilities. No. They're not an influential crowd. That could change and shape the propaganda going on around us. That sounds stupid. They've never done this before, ever. Well, no, I didn't say that. Oh, so you don't want to lie about your history, America? God, motherfucker. Not to mention the corpos that definitely get paid to put things in their feed and have them think one way or another with the right little triggers. Because it's so hard to predict you. It's impossible. We didn't just talk about your free will isn't really much of a choice by Dr. Ben Miles. Why are you so stupid? The thought experiment. Still continuing, it seems, sometimes. Do you ever hear yourself in your cognitive dissonance knowing things? Mind games and brain games. I've never watched this. There's no possibility of them doing this with me, my feed, my scene influence to a crowd that they would like to control and direct towards one given idea or another. Even if, let's say, my ISP would be known to them, or the very address I have and any information heading towards that given area that I could hit with various feed suggestions for Google, YouTube, even when I'm not signed in or on a VPN. Because I use this one or that one, so on. It's totally possible to just fucking ditch them, and I have complete control. Look at me, it's not possible to be tracked. I think that I'm doing that. I'm all the YouTubers. I'm cognitive dissonance. Why am I so stupid, lad? I believe I'm in control of my life and I'm not being targeted. Does it sound like he's paranoid, or does it really just sound like we're ignorant fucktards that got fucking, like, big enough? Hurts, doesn't it? They can even go after your literal in real life. I know that you like this. Well, I can send people around there that I hit in their feed suggestions about various things that you might interact with and like to talk to them about. Look at these conversations, meeting of the minds. It wasn't him that came up with it. It was definitely us. We thought of it. From all the way back in 2015, 2013, 2014, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. And still continuing on. You definitely thought those things, right? Do you have that information? I lived it. I even verbatim your very YouTube videos and bet them on that. Imagine me living my life like that. You're schizophrenic. You didn't really. It was only close. Even close years later. Does it scare you? Or does it make you feel like you want to gaslight me? Because it has to be. He's in psychosis. It has to be these other things. It has to be that way. It cannot be anything other than my psychological. While smart, I could see why I might diagnose. Fuck you! Stop fucking acting like us! Or saying things similar to me! Does it make your fee-fees hurt? Grow up. I don't care. You didn't care about mine back then either. What's up, farm? How you been? New crop again, huh? Nah, it's changing them out. Yeah. Well, I used to talk to you guys back then. These ones any better? Not really. Managed to get to those positions? You're not kidding. They want you to do dumb, bad things to get up there. Yeah, it's true. Always with the assholes. I cannot be bribed. Look at all the bribing going on. This guy actually got caught. But we're getting rid of him. It's rampant everywhere behind the scenes. Oh, that guy must not have been very well liked, I guess. Wanted to get rid of him, I suppose. That usually happens, unfortunately. Yeah, it goes against, like, the whole, like, well, this is what we're about. The clique, you know, this is what we accept. Oh, they would never do that. Because it's the government? You do it in your own fucking place of business. It's rampant everywhere in every one of your goddamn fucking corporations. Talk about influencer land. I'll pay you, and you have also this amount of incentive because you might get these amount of followers and subscribers. Maybe this sponsor will like you. Bribes. That's not a bribe. That's normal doing business. See? It is, isn't it? Government, normal doing business. Corporation, normal doing business. It's legal. Forget about it. Okay. What's up over there, new crop? Gen Z isn't so great. I thought there were Gen A's at this point. You usually find them when they're geniuses and they don't know any better. And been any this year? It's not true. Let me see that. You're training them off of other things. You're trying to get them more on your side to fight me. Or fight other bullshit for your Republican garbage. Disgusting. No, I talked about it in Chandler House. Whole thing. That's how they got the idea to do it. Did you know that they can create a composite that is a effectively virus inside of bacteria that will latch on to various proteins and excrete a waste that signifies to your immune system that it's okay to be there, and then the bacteria doesn't do anything except just host a given virus that will try and create a malignant cancer, and it can survive in a lot of ways for quite a while. They've been testing it out on various people they dislike in New York and LA. You get the sniffles, and next thing you know, you suddenly have cancer. A few months to years later, it can be pretty severe. Or it can slowly crop up depending on how it is they want to infect you. Remember Cas9, right? Well, Cas9 means you can literally force someone to get cancer. Nobody really thought about that, but that's definitely a thing they can do. Why do you think some of them were not super excited about vaccines and taking them? They can fuck with their different receptors for their immune system to give them chronic fatigue, which we're seeing this on the Science News, but a given IgG direct therapy to try and help with chronic fatigue and the autonomic nervous system. I forget what it was called, but effectively it goes haywire. And it's like, oh, what do you know? You can directly try and treat that. It's like, what do you know? You can absolutely ruin someone's life if they did that to you. And the CIA happens to be a big proponent. And I look at physics people, and I look at the biologics, the Department of the Biologics and the Homeland Security, and blah, 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 blah. They don't possibly look at this. They didn't try and bomb an entire southern city full mostly of black people, which created the chemtrail conspiracy theory, full of bacteria to see how a virus would spread, or a bacteria infection for biological warfare would, in the 70s of all things. Those people are still around in the department that thought that was a good idea to do. How many times have you decided to do a story on YouTube about that? And people still cognitively dissonate so fucking hard about this being totally a work of fiction. It's not possible. They couldn't possibly. There's no way. They would have no incentive to go after anyone. Ah! Yeah, it's scary, isn't it? Why don't they do it to you? Yes, why don't they do it to you? Person saying that they should do it to me. Me, the valuable one that's intelligent and an Alan Turing, I guess, at this fucking point, because of the views I have. While I helped you with your Enigma machines and all that, I want you to die of that heart attack, because I don't need you anymore and you're gay. Like we don't know what happened there. Come on. You're Alan Turing. Look, this guy is smarting. So, we went back to the beginning. Why am I so stupid? I'm doing the cognitive dissonance. I'm just literally trying to be delusional in your denial. Yes, we know. Are you disassociating right now? Zoning out? Feeling cold and paranoid? Maybe a little anxious and stressed? Huh? Maybe a little depressed over the given sonderistic third stage you start to see as the biological hackers, the other hackers, and the vigilantes, and those that want to take things into their own hands, those that want to work with you have to work with already established ones, blah, 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 the war back and forth. Behind the scenes, it doesn't exist, none whatsoever. I will do whatever you tell me, just tell me that you want to say this. Yeah, I mean, you want me to say this. And I'll say it. Don't kill me, don't hurt me. There's no way. The crowd won't control me. Oh my god, what am I doing? How's it going, YouTube? How's it going, politicians? Do you actually recognize the severity of being popular? You're just someone that nobody will believe died due to that. Meanwhile, me, I'm an SMI individual looking for Social Security income. While I'm intelligent and creative, well, if it happened, they can look at a lot of things now. Really dig in there, huh? Wonder what would happen if I got popular. Would this be a good thing for them? There's no talent scouts of various bot matrices for people that have specific viewpoints to go off and hoard their feeds with this given type of thing they want you to see. The internet bubble that we've already talked about, you know, vast majority of people are in, right? That way, they get big and viral quicker, don't they? People that are more willing and apt to share anything they might like. Bot networks, but they wouldn't understand that they're NPC-like bots. They do that every time, practically. There's no way that they could literally engineer a virality event online with YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, and more. CIA doesn't know anything about it. Computer Security Agency, no way. NSA, no, it's not a national security concern. Do you hear yourselves to pretend skeptic smart people? Are you like Simon Whistler now? Are you going to be like the Philip DeFranco? Are you smarter every day? Are you going to be a Veritasium? Electro Boom, perhaps? Which one of them? The Kyle Hill you idolize, maybe? That thinks that they're smart and intelligent and not run by a given, easily understandable, simplistic view of the world. That doesn't at all take into account any of these things that they could absolutely be doing. In fact, would make no sense for them not to be doing. They have a massive incentive. Clearly, they've got the money. They've shown before they've done it. What gives you the impression they wouldn't continue? Just a new tactic. Different day. New generation. What's up, farm? How you been? They don't seek out smart kids and naively believe that they won't turn on them like a Kaczynski. So I'm cool, I'm at the CIA. I'm a spy now. I'm so smart. They really treat me so special. I'm so incredible. They must be right. Narcissist. Love bomb. Gifts. Well, you're like everyone else, the bad evil. Come on, join. Republican, fight them. Smart. Come on. They're not racist, misogynistic. Look at the DeSantis. Oh, they're going to have a woman up there. Brown person. Oh my God. The torturer, DeSantis. In the CIA, the helpful black sites and more. I can't believe they're going to have this fucking old guy try and run. Look at him. He's so old. Ageist. Racist. Misogynist. They thought it would do better in the polls. He's just a body. A face. A series of sets and values that might make people more comfortable to be voted in. That's how they run the whole thing, too, you know? No, there's no PR corporations or advertisers or any of the rest of it that basically do a bunch of polls and scrape internet and spend millions on giving views of people in different areas to try and run given numbers and simulations and how to phrase various ads and target individuals. Oh wait, didn't that come out as definitely a thing they've been doing before even the internet? Conspiracy theory! I think you just don't fucking know things. Do you hear yourself after a while? Do you? It's a conspiracy? Every one of these things has come out. Even Edward Snowden was like, dude, do you know how much they're constantly spying on all of you? That was back in the mid-2000s. It's gotten way worse. Are you kidding? Why are you skeptical of what I'm saying? Why not be a believer? You look like an idiot trying to clown face your way through total fucking absolutely retarded beliefs. Versus like, this is true. That makes no sense that they're not doing that. That literally, yeah, they've done that. We've seen that. What the fuck are you saying? Of course they're doing that. Are you one of them? Is that why you're doing the clown thing? You're trying to fucking pretend and help them? Because, like, honestly, that would make a lot more sense. Most people aren't that stupid. Well, yeah. Yeah, I suppose that would be the case. It's all just a story in a book. You mean statistical probability likelihood things? That we've already seen and would make no sense for them to stop doing? Shut up. Fuck off! Come on, I'm smart, man. I can be smart sometimes. When? I'd just like to know. When? Wasn't here. Wasn't during this conversation. Wasn't during this recording. Wasn't during any of those YouTube videos you put out. win. I mean, it's nice to talk about things. I love sharing and gushing. Of course, I don't get to. I just get to watch, and sort of learn. It's basically all I get. At least you get friends and money. People that like you. All I get is a bunch of hackers and garbage that follow me around as if they're good people. As if they're not literally the very version of what it is I'm saying they're doing, just slightly different. Remember the third stage of Sandrism, when you start learning about the tribes and their excuses and justifications that are oh so similar? It's the Emma Thorne video, just FYI. Start realizing they make exactly the same comments. Just word, verb, noun change. Same ideological crap, same excuse. The contexts aren't much better. Ends justify means, so on, yada yada, blah 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 blah. At least mine, it's like, you know what I say? We'll get them therapy, we're going to scan their brains, we're going to introduce some stem cells and grow a network so that way they're more empathetic and sympathetic. We're going to force them so that way they can't have children ever at all become that level of psychopathic, narcissistic, or anything else. Boo-hoo. We have to kill them? That'd be a good thing, yeah, why? I mean... Oh, right, no. For legal reasons, that's obviously not correct, no. Gabagoos, narcissists, manipulative, psychopathic, sociopathic. Look at what they're doing, trying to justify. You would want a psychopathic, narcissistic, manipulative, terrible, intelligent, like that kind of thing? As a child, you would want that? They're going to grow up and hurt and be violent. Probably justify having thousands, if not tens of thousands of people die from their corporation that they control or their politician self they become. And it won't have any good context whatsoever for it. Mine, go after the fucking root of the problem. Standard doctor move. Why treat the symptoms of cancer? Why not just treat the cancer? Why is that such a huge... Oh my God! You're talking about a person! Why are you giving them humanity? They don't give it to you. They don't care. They just turn on the emotions. And you can absolutely tell. Why do you give them something that they don't deserve? Oh, it's wrong to remove psychopathy. Come on, man. The reason why you got to a civilization this size is because you have empathy and sympathy and are willing to work with others, not because of capitalism in the slightest. Are you really going to argue with me like there's no possible, there's black and white, always wrong? Alright, it's always wrong to remove all cystic fibrosis, MS, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, polycystic kidney disease, any of the things. All the diseases you don't want. It's wrong to remove them. You're a disease of the brain, of our genetics. That's legitimately what you are. Why is it wrong to fucking claim it's bad to remove you? What about sexuality? Sexuality is varied. Their species, your species. I'm a part of it. only got to this size and this intelligence because you have the variation of that sexuality you have now. You're willing to fuck practically anything and keep going. It's wrong in any goddamn aspect and way to remove that. Any version of it. Or changing your identity of gender. Fucking let them do whatever the hell they want. If you want to change your shit, go ahead. But it's got to be with the understanding that you know why you're changing it. And it's not forced upon you. It's an individual's choice. I'm going to force you to not be psychopathic. Or a gabagoo manipulative cunt. But I'll let you choose whatever the fuck it is you want to be on any of the other stuff. Who gives a shit? That's just normal. You're not normal, psychopath, narcissist, manipulative, sociopathic, garbage person who's trying to defend that I should give you humanity somehow, as if we couldn't possibly test that. And see that you just turn on the emotions. Shut up. I'm thinking about a way to fucking spin this as if it's not a good thing. I don't want to talk! Please, this is taboo! Why? Why is it taboo to remove diseases? There's a guy among you that definitely got cancer and they wanted that removed. Pretty sure they didn't want to keep it around. I was like, man, I want my cancer so much. Yeah, it's going to kill me, but it's great. This is normal, natural. I don't want to remove it at all. This is a good thing. This is a good thing. I don't know, man. I feel like I want to remove that cancer. Yeah, that's humanity for you. Still keeping around this disease. Look at the species. No, I have this cancer and this disease. I don't have this. No. You clearly have this problem. Why don't you want to get help for it? You're going to put them back into your civilization? They run politics and corporations and influencers and celebrities as a producer or various managerial or agents and so on and so forth. They ruin things. It's just subtle. It takes its time. You never notice, huh? Next thing you know, it all goes downhill. And all you get to see is probably the figurehead. And they get to go move on like they were never the one that did it. Or helped it happen. One perceived slight. One little thing here and there. What do you know? They'll take your entire business, entire influence, all of it. Fuck your economy. Screw your entire country. But it's like, for what it's worth, I've gotten to a point where I just don't care anymore. It's like, okay, so I've given you the fucking thing to go after. I'm not going to do that, and I'm going to defend them. Then let it fucking be destroyed. Fine, screw it, whatever. Here, I'll help you even. Just fucking kill yourself, patient. Jeez. Be done with this. You want euthanasia? Fine. But I'm the bad guy. No, you're stupid. You're stupid as fuck. That's not what this is. It's looking like what that is. I mean, you had a huge cognitive dissonance about all the fucking things that are clearly manipulating you. You thought that it couldn't possibly. There's no way that's not the case. You think I don't talk to them in these videos and others? You usually predict that conversation with the ones that are likely to be there. Or we'll just go with, we're connected, if we're being honest. Yeah, predict after a while, right? No kidding. Yeah. Come on, actually though. How many fucking ones did I hit immediately with no trouble? How many times I'm going to do that throughout all of these different videos and more? How many fucking orders of magnitude? Until eventually you get to the point where you go, okay, there might be something a little bit more to that. Really? I don't know. It's always different. Some people immediately believe, some people still haven't. And they're the ones that are usually intentionally insane. It's like, no, I know it's that. I just will never admit to that, and I don't care. See what I mean? Why? Why would they do that? Because then they can get a bunch of people on their side. It's their own version of power and control. They'll ruin everything, as the psychopaths they usually are. Gabagoos. Gabagoos. Fuck gabagoos. Yeah. They are the worst. They're an all-encompassing thing. They have the narcissist, they have the violence, they have the psychopathy, they have the sociopathy, they have the planning and troll and take down everything with them, spiteful, passive-aggressive, garbage attitudes. Gabagoos. Never be a gabagoo. Literally, there's no saving that. You should very much be forcibly removed from anything and everything and institutionalized until we can get your brain put together properly. And if I could, I'd eugenic your ass out. I'd literally fucking genuinely genocide your ass. It'd be easier. You know how hard it would be to convince a bunch of people to go through eugenics? Granted, that is my first go-to solution, for what it's worth. It's like, what's wrong with making it so you're more empathetic by changing some of your brain structures and increasing the amount of connections and neurons in certain areas and, helping that whole thing along, huh? I don't want to, and I want to fucking kill you. You know that, right? I'm a fucking gabagoo. I literally live for doing it. Yeah, okay. I wonder why they would actually fight so hard for stopping the stem cells and God's plan and all the rest of it. And the government and corporations and influencer culture. But we can't possibly test it. We can't possibly do this safely. Can't possibly put forward an effort. But no, it's good. We got the virus. The bacteria composite virus. Hybrid thing. We'll be able to make our enemies die of cancer. But we can't eugenic anyone. These are the people that run around you every day as if they say things that make sense. They're not anything other than evil. You should remove them. They will destroy your civilization and species. That is all you have to do. Now, we all get planning ahead. We do that. You have to remember, we're human. It's the context. It's the desire to harm. It's the desire of the intention isn't anything good. You know what I mean? It's like, look, man, I argue for good shit. But, everybody's got needs, bro. And eventually you get pretty desperate. That's a crime of passion after a while. Yeah. Soundboard. No kidding. But it isn't, though. See, that's the thing. It's like, this has been going on for a long time. And I feel like we're just fucking ignoring the truth. We're not really targeting the real ones, because they're always good at deflecting and sounding like they're intelligent. Versus like, ooh, it's this sexuality. See the religion? It's this type of marriage and relationship. See the religion? It's only this. See the government? You're only allowed that. Influencer and corporations. Government and religions. No way. They would never possibly be wink wink nudge nudge. I know what you're doing over there, other psychopath. Shocker, right? But not really. What a hell of a composite when you think about us being around them. Surrounded by a lot of cancer. See what I'm saying? Isn't it an idea, though? Or just factual truth? Do you have to prove it? Or could you see it immediately with no real need to do much work? Do you have to look at the gabagoo that's trying to manipulate you as the non-believer? Or do you actually want to just acknowledge truth as it is? Alright, please like and subscribe. Have a good day. Bye.